Do y'all know where they're at?
The answer to that, you mean in real time, if you're asking that? That in real time, no, we do not know where they are.
Teens on ankle monitors in New Orleans left unmonitored.
It's a story that WDSU Investigates was first to report 2 years ago, from tracking the cut devices and those who recommit crimes.
WDSU Investigates found this ankle monitor cut off and left in the streets.
These kids are, on ankle monitor out here doing crimes, and no one is tracking it. No one is trying to look for it.
So holding leaders accountable.
It is a big problem. Cassie, I think you're really on to something in terms of why repeat offenders are creating new problems for community members and causing more harm after they've already been arrested.
2 years later, the ankle monitoring system continues to lead to deadly consequences.
WDSU investigative reporter Cassie Sherm joins us in studio with one recent murder that's renewing calls for justice and bringing concerns of unmonitored teens to light.
That's right. I learned just how really broken the system is when it comes to the ankle monitors straight from the people who are tasked to monitor these teens. How millions of federal money to help juvenile justice system, it could be lost, and what needs to be done to protect the community.
It was disturbing to see.
Unmonitored and unaccounted for.
This just shows our problem, right? This just shows a bigger problem that we had, that literally an ankle monitor was cut off and no one was looking for it.
WDSU Investigates has found that the unsupervised ankle monitoring system, when it comes to teens, has led to unreversible repercussions.
Caring, she was loving, she put others before herself.
For Christy Thibodeau, a French Quarter tour guide, it cost her life. Thibodeau was sitting in her car in the French Quarter when she was shot nearly a month ago. A 15-year-old wearing a deactivated ankle monitor was arrested for her murder. He was on the run for weeks.
It's always kind of an after-the-effect deal. In this particular case with the young teenager who is the alleged shooter, his warrant was connected to previous domestic violence cases he had had. And I think some other outstanding warrants. He has been in and out of the juvenile justice system several times, even the past year.
The current ankle monitoring system for juveniles in New Orleans is out of the Office of Juvenile Justice. It is state-run. Over in adult court, independent companies say this gives ankle monitoring a bad name.
The way they're running their supervision program is to blame on what happened to Ms. Thibodeau. The juvenile system is broken. And it is because the juvenile judges are not fighting for justice for our city.
Citizens getting killed based on inefficiency and dysfunction within the Office of Juvenile Justice.
And Office of Juvenile Justice employees tell me they can't stay silent anymore.
Being an employee with the Office of Juvenile Justice, of course, you can't talk to any media. That's why we're doing this interview in the means that we're doing it in. However, when you're working with these youths on a daily basis, they need to be held accountable. The youth are just totally non-compliant, which is in the case that's most recently reported in the news, and then unfortunately an innocent bystander is killed in the process.
WDSU Investigates learns the teenage suspect allegedly involved in Thibodeau's murder didn't charge his ankle monitor. OJJ then made the decision to deactivate the monitor before the murder.
The decision for her to deactivate that youth's monitor, nobody goes out and try to execute a warrant on that youth. Nobody searches for the youth. It's just like, you notify the court via email or in a court letter, and you let the court know that this youth is non-compliant, but no one follows up from that point. Nobody making a conscious effort to get this youth off the street.
This former OJJ employee tells WDSU because of the leadership and the lack of staffing, those who don't comply are getting away with it, saying something needs to be investigated.
Some of the stuff hasn't even made it to the news. So the community is not even aware of some of the things that have taken place, which are very terrible things that have taken place within the Office of Juvenile Justice within the last year.
I mean, that's definitely concerning, and it should concern the public as well.
Councilwoman Helena Moreno is sounding off.
So that's what's really troubling, and what I don't understand is that, this has been an ongoing conversation. And what's really interesting is that during my first term, it was the crime commissioner for the city of New Orleans that said, this has been an issue for quite some time. We need to have real-time monitoring for juveniles. And she had committed to take that program over.
Vetting, of course, all the technology is real time. It actually happens right then and there. If you're, taking your monitor off, you're going to get that beep. If you're going to cut it off, you're going to get everything in real time.
Commissioner Tanisha Stevens spoke about creating an ankle monitoring program run by the city at a city council meeting back in 2021.
Have a good idea on where we're going and what's going to work for our juvenile system.
And so it was everyone's understanding that the city, through the commissioner's office, would take this over. The judges even were like, are we supposed to do this on our own? If so, we need money. But then the council's like, well, we gave money to the commissioner.
Moreno is talking about more than $4 million the mayor's Office of Criminal Justice Coordination received in federal funds 2 years ago. WDSU Investigates learned none of that money has been used, and it'll run out by 2026.
I've been asking these questions for quite some time, and I don't have any answers.
WDSU reached out through the mayor's office to talk with Commissioner Stevens about the department's plans, but I was told, quote, Commissioner Stevens' schedule is packed for the rest of the month leading into August.
All of this concerns me. There are so many problems in this system.
Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams says ankle monitors are being given out to those who shouldn't even be out in the community.
Electronic monitor, that's not a right. That's a second, sometimes a third and fourth chance that a judge is giving a person, right? And so if they're going to abuse that, then they need to be put into custody immediately.
It's a problem that we've been talking about for quite some time.
It's only gotten worse. I feel until there is a commitment from judges that they're going to look at these reports on a daily basis, until there is a commitment with legislation requiring companies to pick people up as soon as there's a trigger of any kind. An ankle monitor has all of the public safety impact as your beautiful necklace.
So you think we should kind of put a pause right now on ankle monitoring until we get that fixed first?
I think we should put a moratorium in juvenile court until every single person, every single juvenile defendant that's on an electronic monitor has been assessed to find out if they're compliant or non-compliant.
For Christy Thibodeau's friends and loved ones, they all hope that this talk is finally put into action.
Ultimately, she would want us to be outspoken about this in New Orleans, and it needs to be addressed. Juveniles committing crimes is happening all the time here in this city, and she would want us to make sure that there's justice is served.
Now, both Moreno and Williams say they're teaming up with the state to create legislation. And currently, the state's attorney general is investigating the New Orleans Office of Juvenile Justice. But when I requested an interview with the leadership in that department, I was told, quote, at this time, our director of probation schedule will not permit for an interview, but we will continue to follow up on this.